One of the biggest things as a defender, you've got to talk. You watch Van Dijk now, you watch Diaz now, if you're looking at the two, and Rudiger, they're non-stop talking, animated, pointing at people, pulling people about. United, I look at the defence and I just sit there and just go like, is anyone going to chat? Is anyone going to even go, wake up? All you're doing when you're talking is making sure that he stays alive, he stays concentrated, he stays focused, keeping him on his toes. I don't see it. Everything's a reaction. I see more reaction out of him, more animation when the ball's in the back of the net.
Yeah, then it's
like, oh yeah, well, I should have done that. Point at the linesman. In the game, manage your play.
We want to give a massive shout out to our official sponsors, Sokin, who are also partners of AS Monaco, Everton, Fulham and Arsenal. And if you're regularly spending money abroad, you can make a killing on international payments. So make sure you download the Sokin app today and follow them on socials as well, man. Massive shout out to you, Sokin, and the users. Peace.
Back for a special segment, shut your mouth, Steve, of Vibe with 5. You got to hear myself, Joel Beya, top 4 Arsenal fan, about to land into top 4 this season. You got to hear Steve, who I haven't quite heard of so much like since yesterday. He's gone quiet. And Rio, you ain't even been replying to my texts. What's going on?
I've been family stuff.
Oh, listen, I just want to put it down here, lay it down straight away. For anyone who thinks I'm going to come in, I'm going to be soft, I'm going to be weak, I'm going to be the meek old Arsenal fan, just take it. No, today I'm on your neck.
Why don't you learn though? Because you come out like this and then you're going to lose 3 on the bounce or something like that. And you're gonna
I don't care.
Look, hear the volume.
Yeah,
Do you hear the volume?
I do not care. Right. All right? You guys in the comments, I hate Joel. Oh, why don't you get that? Shut up. I'm going in today. Man United getting slapped.
We didn't play in that game, you know.
No. You're part of the congregation. Man United getting slapped 4-1 by Manchester City, their rivals, formerly known as the noisy neighbours. Right now, the only people making noise is Man United because they're moaning. They can't get it right. Slapped at the Etihad. Was this worse than the 2-0, first of all?
Yeah, so are we moving on? Is that done? So, yeah, it was, yeah. Right.
Why was it worse than the 2-0?
Now, let me just start this year. I've played, obviously, in this game before, in this fixture, at Old Trafford, albeit, and we got beat 6-1 at Old Trafford. One of the darkest days in my Man United career.
They only had 7 shots on target in that game.
Yeah. It wasn't we went 1-0 off, I think, in that game.
We didn't
we? Okay, whatever. Right, listen. what I tried to delete from my memory, but why I'm saying that is because, like, in terms of understanding how these players must feel right now, having a little inkling into how they must feel, like embarrassed, sitting there thinking, "Wow, we are nowhere near good enough." I haven't done my part of the bargain. I didn't play well enough. But one thing I don't think I've ever said when I was at United was that I didn't put it in. I didn't run. I didn't graft. I didn't give effort. I might not have had the quality on the day, might not have had the class on the day, might not have got the result on the day, but it wasn't for the want of actually trying. Do you know what I mean? And I think that is the sickening. That's the pill that's hard to swallow in this situation. Is you watch that game. First off, we can say, "Oh, Man United win the game," etc. That's the last 20 minutes. And what Roy Keane said yesterday is very true. You find out about players when the chips are down. You find out what you're really made of, what it is like when you're down and you're out almost, and you're on your knees. Who has the character? Who can you look in their eyes and go, I'm still going to want to go to war with that guy. Maybe not today. It's not happened for us today, quality-wise and whatnot, missed chances or whatever. But I know that geezer will work with me and he'll work for me and he'll make sure that we get by some way, somehow, through perseverance and hard work.
On that pitch, Rio, if you were to name a couple players that you would go to war with after that game, who would you go to war with?
Well, after that 20 minutes, I wouldn't think of many names. I think David De Gea, maybe, but it's different for a goalkeeper in that situation. No one covered himself in glory. Like, no one out of the players that stepped on that football pitch at any moment in that last phase of the game. You look at the stats that jump out at you. 92% possession City had. Rodri had more touches of the ball, more passes of the ball, than the entire Man United team in the last 15 minutes. One player. Like,
one of those passes we had was kick-off, by the way.
Yeah, and you just look at it and you think like, I don't understand how. We've been sitting here, and I've mentioned the same word consistently, week in, week out. Culture. Another word, characters. Another word, personalities. In times of need, in desperation, when it's going wrong and you're swimming against the tide, they're the 3 things you need. Forget technique, forget ability, forget frills and spills, forget stepovers. You need those things there with a work ethic.
Well, it wasn't technique and skill, was it, in the last 10 minutes?
No,
that's just pure graft. And it wasn't there.
It was bad. It was so bad. In fact, let me take you through the team really quickly, and I'll let you guys carry on because we're here to hear what Rio has to say. Let's be honest. Thank you for the DMs on IG. We're not letting off today. Maguire, bro, doing Ronaldinho sidesteps 6 yards away before conceding. Lindelof, not good enough. Telles, not quick enough for the goal. Wan-Bissaka getting barged off by little Phil Foden. Needs to hit the gym, bruv.
Do you know, I look at that defence, right? When I look at that defence, I don't see anyone talking.
Yeah.
They're whispering. They're whispering to each other, if that. One of the biggest things as a defender, you've got to talk. You watch Van Dijk now, you watch Diaz now, if you're looking at the two, and Rudiger, they're non-stop talking, animated.
Pointing
at people, pulling people about. United, I look at the defence and I just sit there and just go like, is anyone going to chat? Is anyone going to even go, wake up? All you're doing when you're talking is making sure that he stays alive. He stays concentrated. He stays focused, keeping him on his toes. I don't see it. Everything's a reaction. I see more reaction out of him, more animation when the ball's in the back of the net.
Yeah, then it's
like, oh yeah, I should have done that. Point at the linesman. In the game, manage your players. The goal where he cuts it back for De Bruyne for the first goal, when he gets the 2v2 out wide.
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka, no talking. I forget who went out there with him.
Lindelof went out there.
No talking. Like, tell him where you want him to go. Show him the line. Put him down the line. Like, dictate to the forward where you want him to go. You might not get it right, but actually tell him to do something so you can then react off his position. You're only telling him to move him down the line or push him down the line, so I then don't have to go and cover you down the line. In the end, he's gone out there to cover him, and then it just get in a muddle. The ball still comes in, and you're thinking to yourself, like, as soon as the ball comes in there and it hits his foot there, it's a goal because he's so close. It's a great finish, but he ain't got to do much to do it. There's so many incidents that you look at in the defence, and you can talk about midfield. Even midfield, like, we've got 2 players in there. You could outnumbered consistently. Do you know what I mean? Outnumbered. With City play 3 in there, to play 2 in there is suicidal. I know they played 2 midfielders up front, which was like, for me, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, when you've got Ronaldo in your squad and you're going away in a game like that. Listen, if you had Cavani and you said, I'm going to play Cavani, I'll get it. But you're playing 2 midfielders up front, I'm thinking, wow, never done that. You're doing it against your biggest rivals in the city who are going to win the league, and there's loads riding on this game. You're running for 4th, and you go and try something absolutely new and outlandish in that game. And we didn't even, if you're playing 2 midfielders up front, we didn't even actually pack the midfield. We still look open and bare-assed in there. I'm thinking, well, what's the point of it then? You might as well played Ronaldo. It's absolutely, I couldn't get my head around it. And again, for as much as we can sit here and say, oh, we've done well in the first half and whatnot, we got beat 4-1. Let's not try and sugarcoat it and let's just cling on to the positives. No, we were shit. Like, you look at that last 20 minutes and you think, wow, like, I've had some bad moments in a Man United shirt, but I don't really remember times where we could come off that pitch and someone could point at me and go, you know what, you didn't try. You didn't work hard enough. You didn't roll your sleeves up. Do you know what I mean? I weren't good enough maybe that day. I underperformed that day maybe. I didn't do this, didn't do that, but we weren't for graft. And that is a bare minimum. For any footballer, that is an absolute minimum. Like, I just hope we can talk all about it. We can be negative and we can analyse the game.
Yeah.
I really, really hope that these players are walking in the next day and are going, I'm embarrassed. My pride and ego's taken a battering and I'm really embarrassed about it. I've got to make this right. Just get on that training field and you do what you have to do to me. You give me every task you want to get this right, Gaffer. I hope that's the attitude. I hope that's what's in there. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is. I think there's a lot of finger pointing. I bet you any money there's a lot of he's done this, he ain't this, he ain't that. Mate, the amount of phone calls.
I was with you the other day and you had a phone call or something. I didn't understand what was going on.
The amount of phone calls I get from agents. Oh, can you not say this about you? Why are you criticising so and so? Do me a favour, man. Come on, man. It's like if I was being vindictive and personal and saying bad things personally about these people, I'd get it and I'd understand. I'd take the call and I'd say sorry. But I ain't saying sorry for actually stating facts. I ain't saying sorry for tactically looking at the way people are playing and highlighting situations where you think you could do better there. You should be saying, you know what? I know that. I understand. I know. You ain't got to tell me. I know, and I will do better. It's not, you're digging me out in public. You're your biggest critic. You should be your biggest critic. You shouldn't be thinking about what I'm saying. This is my job. I'm paid to do this. I love doing it. I mean, we're doing analysis on games. We have a show like this where we love it. We've got people that subscribe and get involved with it. It's a community we've got. This is what football is. This is what makes football.
Isn't the problem that people are more asked about what you're saying?
Go on the training field and flipping work. Don't worry about me. I'm going to be sitting here talking. My career's done. I'm going to sit here talking about stuff.
People were doing this. Want to blow them up if we're good.
Yeah, and if that's exactly, Steve, you've hit the nail on the head. Because when I'm doing unbelievable segments about them and highlighting the positives and the great part of their game, no one's calling me then. No one's going, do you know what, Reece, thanks for that. We'll do an interview in a couple of weeks if you want, because you know what, you've done us a favour. You don't get that. So I don't understand. Don't call me when I'm talking negatively about your player or whatever it is. I'm talking about from a tactical standpoint and saying, why are you doing this? How are you doing this? Because you weren't calling me when
our guy
I was
Wynts
being
come in and he did a tune, and you know what? I heard it and I thought, bro, this sounds like a diss track. It sounds like a Man United diss track. Let me know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments. Massive shout out to you, Wynts, as always.
This week in the Prem, Sunday was a tasteful one. Big up Tony, come through with a hat trick and a fatal one. Chelsea dealt with Burnley 4-0, left turf more comfy. Liverpool got points on the board, West Ham gone 6th place, tough week. Arsenal back in 4th, Gabby, Martin, Saka locked it. But the way City handed out beatings on the weekend, topped it. Sancho come through, got a goal, them times hopes were up. Mahrez, KDB turned up, next thing you know hopes were done.
Before I carry on about digging out the United players, that's my job today. Steve, you actually said something to me the other day where you said you spoke to Rio and there was a detail about him and Van der Sar and how he would want the defenders.
He spoke about it. You spoke about it on the podcast, and I love it. Danny Higginbottom was the first one that I saw as a pundit. I think Danny Higginbottom's a super underrated pundit.
I like him, yeah.
He was one that obviously come from Manchester United, but played at places like Stoke and Derby where you've got to cut your cloth accordingly, haven't you? And one of the things he said at Stoke was, we would understand when United comes to town, we're not seeing the ball, and we're not going to see this, and we're not going to have things our own way. But what you can do is you go, right, we'll give them this, but we're having this. And he said for the most part, like they'd leave the grass long in the centre. They'd train on the pitch as well, so it would chop it up and make it
They'd make it windy in the stadium.
Yeah, they did that. They booked the wind, right? But they would like cut the grass short and leave the wings because they wanted to attack on the wings and they wanted to get balls into the box. And that was a brilliant detail that I loved. And then Rio hit it. We were talking about how good Van der Sar is. And, you know, he spoke about his preference versus the Schmeichel kind of goalkeeper and what he got out of Van der Sar. And it was a detail where you'd say, I'm going to show a forward this part of the goal. You being that. And if it comes past me, it's my fault. But I'm going to show him that 1 metre. Now, I don't know if you're aware of the records him and Van der Sar with Vidic. And that as back four put up a record number of clean sheets that they put together. Successive clean sheets as well, wasn't it? Just completely shut things out.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit for those who might not know in regards to the positioning and how detailed Van der Sar was with you, vice versa?
No, these situations they're the fine margins in the game that decide games. Like the situation I just spoke about in the game yesterday, when Aaron Wan-Bissaka goes out there and Lindelof comes out behind him. You got to talk to him. You're the one behind. You've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka on a remote control. Tell him where you want him to go. I only spoke to Michael Carrick in front of me and told him left, right, up, back. Because I knew wherever I made him go was making my job easier. Once he's in line with my forward, in front of the forward, and the ball can't come into that centre forward's feet, I can then do another job. I can then cover Gary Neville if the ball's on that side of the pitch, because I'm saying to Gary Neville before the game, all you do is go tight to that winger. Do not let him turn. If the ball goes over your head, I'm there. But I'm only doing that once I've told Michael Carrick, you get in front of him, or Owen Hargreaves.
So you stop the ball coming to the striker.
Stop the ball coming into the striker. Then I can have half an eye on the striker and a bit more eyeballs on the actual wide man if Gary Neville gets done. And I actually want them to play the ball over Gary Neville's head so I can show my pace and show how good I am and look like I'm cleaning up unbelievable situations. But I'm actually almost telling them where to play it at times. It doesn't always happen like that, but I'm saying, because of that communication, I'm actually knowing where Gary Neville's going to be. I know if Gary Neville's 5 yards off that winger, I am onto Gary Neville, get your ass tight. Because otherwise, he's getting the ball, turning and running at you. We're 20 yards deeper now before you know it. I don't want that. Do you know what I mean? So it's all these, are these conversations going on? Is there detail like
and
this?
you would say that Van der Sar would tell you, not just move to the left. What would he say specifically?
Like 1 metre.
No, we'd have, me and Edwin and Vida especially, because we're central, would be saying, like, listen, especially in the box, once they get in the box, right, and I'm 1v1 with, I don't know, a Suarez or whoever it is, and I'm on the right-hand side, which I played on, if I'm showing him on his left foot down the line, I might overcompensate, I might hold back a little bit, because a lot of them you should like shooting back through your legs. I would hold back a little bit sometimes and block the shot through my legs rather than doing that big leap and big, like, where I put my leg out and there's a big hole between my legs. I wouldn't do that sometimes. And I'd wait for him to shoot, drag it back through my legs. So I'm there to block it. But I'd say to Edwin, you overcompensate on the other side. So if it does go outside of my foot, on that side of the goal, where you should be there, if he scores that near post, it's your fault. And it's just taking responsibility. It's taking away grey areas as much as you can. And listen, in the game, it won't be like that. It won't play out perfect. But at least you've got something to work from.
That's a standard.
And
Well, any plan's better than no plan.
yeah, exactly. And that's all we used to think about. And like for instance, anything you'd say to like Patrice, Rafael de Silva, like, you guys just get tight and I'll cover. Vida would do something different with Patrice on his side because they have a different relationship. But I'm telling my guys here and there, this is how I want to play. This is how we need to do it. So we ain't having to be back on the edge of our box all the time. And then you get some sort of rhythm, some sort of understanding. And all of a sudden, I ain't got to tell Gary Neville, and now I can concentrate on someone else. Rafael de Silva knows he's got to be tight against Gareth Bale, wherever it is. I can now concentrate somewhere else on the pitch. But are these conversations happening? Because I don't see that unit. I don't see that cohesiveness with this team that the centre-backs engaged with the centre midfielder, the two holding midfielders, and I don't see that the centre-back is engaged with the attacking midfielders or the wide man or the full-back. It's like they're all playing their own game. That's how it feels. And there are moments when you think, oh, like the goal, oh, they look together.
Yes.
They look like a team in that transition. Whoa. But then it don't last long, because in the next phase of play, what the hell's that? And it's just like, is that time that the manager's not had with them, the players? He's a new manager. But we've been saying this for how many years now? And it can't be the manager's fault all the time. Are these players just not good enough?
I did them a review last night. I was talking about, I mentioned the small little details that you have like that. And I think I mentioned about Roy Keane, that Roy Keane could dictate everything else in the game because he knew his job.
Yeah.
And he was in control of what he needed to do to such a degree. And so was Rio. Rio was so in control of his game. One of my endearing memories of you is you screaming at people. I don't have any memory of Harry Maguire screaming at people, and it's not just him. Like I said, the entire back four's in the firing line today. But I get the impression that this team is too busy concentrating on not ballsing it up themselves that none of them has been able to lift their head up and go, actually, Joel's in the wrong position here. Rio, you need to go left a bit. Like, it doesn't feel like they're in control enough of what's going on around them.
And I understand that because it gets like that sometimes. You know what's going to make sure I play my first pass to a red shirt, play my second pass to a red shirt. I'm going to be safe when I get. I understand it when you're lacking confidence. I'm not sitting here saying it should always be perfect. I mean, you said Harry Maguire, and he's the person who's probably in the firing line a lot at the moment. And it's not about like, oh, you should be able to be perfect all the time. You're going to have down times, yeah, but then you've got to lean on something else in your armory to get you through. Like, you lead these guys. You got the armband. Lead this team. Like, and you look at it and think, I feel from the outside looking in, they're all just want to be mates. No one wants to put no one's nose out of joint. No one wants to go. Like, it's like they're all in an office job in the city. They're all being nice, and they
PC.
don't really like each other, but they won't tell each other. And he knows he's doing something wrong over there. He's messing up the photocopying machine all the time. His emails ain't right. But to keep a steady ship, I won't say a word, and I'll keep it all like Fandy and like, all calm. All right, I don't want HR coming in. But to win, you've got to be pulling people about and telling people you are rubbish. You're shit. Sort yourself out, dude. In the training ground, in the changing room, like pull it. You don't have to be like aggressive either. I'm only doing it because I'm animated now, and you get like that. But so it can be a simple conversation. Are those really happening? That's what. Please tell me they are.
But sometimes it seems like it is. But sometimes it seems like sometimes when it does happen, it's not even being received well. I've seen that with you lot this season. I remember when Maguire said something to Rashford, he called his captain a knobhead or whatever he called him.
Why's it called me? I can't even say on there what he called me.
But what I'm saying is, that's all right. But are we taking responsibility? Is what I'm saying.
But what I would say with Wazza is when I did shout at him or we had an argument, I knew the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, the rest of the game, he was going to do something, it'd come in after, and he wouldn't even say anything. But in his heart of hearts, he knows, you better shut up because I'll deliver. And I'm going to do
and you don't care. You're right.
I don't even want the response. I don't even want the conversation. I've got what I wanted. We won the game 3 points and he scored 2 goals and set one up. But I want the response. I'm not getting a response at the moment from these. I don't see a response. I see people's body language and looking awful. It's actually embarrassing. Walking about slumped like the world's against them, looking unhappy. Like you're playing for Man United, man, in a derby. Do you know how much them fans in that stadium would give to get on that pitch? And you're walking around like, it's this difficult, it's too much, this. I could be doing better things than this on a Sunday. That's the vibe I'm getting from certain guys. I'm thinking, wow, like...
I don't know. Especially after the first half. Steve, you got Fred...
Hang on, let me ask this.
Go on.
Fred was shit, that's end of story.
Yeah.
Right. I'm putting a bit of him not tracking De Bruyne. Right. Let's say
I don't think it's all him though, man. I think Fred's an easy cop-out for people now. It's become like a meme that everyone says. The system didn't even help him yesterday.
I think all 11 of them were shit yesterday.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I would have got round all of them eventually, but and everyone that came off the bench was shit too. Let's say we didn't come in here today, and let's say actually, if we can get the next train up to Manchester, and they've started late because somehow we've given them the day off or the afternoon late start or something. Let's say we can go into Carrington. What are you doing? How are you, with your experience, fixing this? It's all right, me and Joel having opinions on what needs to happen. But let's say there's no cameras, there's no nothing. You can steam in there and you can talk to... Well, you can talk to Ralph, you can talk to the players, you can talk to Mr. Arnold, you can talk to...
No, I just think with the team, it's just like... Are you okay to have uncomfortable conversations? Are you okay to be going one-to-one, nose-to-nose about a situation? Are you okay? We should be having the clips up on there. There's so many cases of people how you could highlight how you could embarrass them. That's the video that I want to see, because I could pull up a whole heap of videos.
And what are you doing? Showing it and just going.
I'm putting it on. I'm putting it on, and I'm asking the question. What can you see, guys? Can someone explain why I've put this video on, please?
But I'll be honest with you, you can do that all day long, but these players are not taking responsibility, Rio.
Then go then.
They're not.
Then go then.
You can say that, but it's easier, because of the world that we're in today, yeah? It's easier to get rid of you, the guy who's actually making them think about what they have to do, than getting rid of 12, 13, 14. It's a culture problem that you guys are suffering from.
I get that, but we've seen that too many times. Too many managers have come in and gone. So now... It's not about the manager. If you're not here to play football and here to take criticism and here to improve yourself every day. Did you see the Wolves manager, his press conference?
I pulled out the young G's because I'm not wasting time on young players.
Forget who the young player is.
We don't care.
It's unfortunate it's that young player.
Yeah.
He's talking about all young players and the culture. And he's saying, listen, put the clip on air, please, because it's an unbelievable clip. Every young kid, every professional should see it. If you're not coming here willing to work hard every day and improve every day, come out the club. That's what these players need to hear. Every club it should be like. Man United, that's what it should be like, because there's a standard. If you ain't hitting that standard, ability-wise, is fine. You're not good enough, that's fine. But if you ain't hitting the standard, the culture in terms of effort and hard work and willingness to improve every day, come out of the gaff. Don't come here. And that's why I'm saying about videos. Put on a video that a man's sitting in there. I want to see someone squirming in that chair. And I want to see you explain that shit behaviour, that the antics you're coming with on, in that clip there, where you've let someone completely run off you and you've turned around, seen it, and started walking. And also, by the way, how are you and you allowing this behaviour? How have you not said nothing? Have you not gripped this geezer up in the tunnel or in the change room? How have you not gone to and say, oh, hey, you're making me look bad? That's what the thing is as well. All the other players, forget what that individual who's doing it is doing, because that's a disgrace in itself, right? But the other players, how they don't go nuts because it's making them look rubbish as well, because everyone's out of sync, out of position then, because they're covering for that lazy person who ain't willing to run. How are they not going nuts? Because it's their performances then going to get destroyed.
There's only 3 teams in the country that I see with that type of mentality. Very easy.
No, it's not.
No, it is. Well, whatever you want to call it, they're the 3 that I see. Man City, you know Pep ain't having it. You know them players. KDB is nice as he is.
But I guarantee you at Brighton, if player ain't working, I guarantee you Lewis Dunk goes in that change room and goes.
Fair enough. I don't watch them enough.
This is happening at Derby, mate. Look at the way they're
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. But I'm talking about the ones that I watch in the Premier League: City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Right? I'm not saying Chelsea have had the best season, but players are not afraid to take responsibility. And when I look at your club, yeah, forget the bants, forget the I'm gonna come. It's actually sad. You know, I've been praising Pogba.
I'd rather you be mad about it rather than be sad about it.
No, it's sad because we grew up in the era. You guys watching, we grew up in the era. Let me even look at this camera so they know what I mean. We grew up in the era where we had respect for Man United. As much as we hated United, we respected them. After that performance, yeah, I even lost respect for your club. And I mean, and I look and I feel sorry for you the most. Do you know why I feel sorry for you? No. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I feel sorry for you. Yeah, because what you players had built, and this is the same. It goes for Arsenal sometimes, not recently, top 4 in that, but you guys had built something. And sometimes I sit down and I go, how does Rio feel, or Neville, or
no? I don't look at it like that because I ain't
players.
got ownership over the club, and I don't think that just because of what I was a part of achieving as a team. I don't look at it like, oh, you're ruining my legacy or nothing like that.
Your legacy is good.
No,
but you care about the place.
Yeah, I had my time. It was great when we were there. I was fortunate to be in that period of time. Yeah, now it's a hard time there, but you just got to work through it.
Rio, they're messing up the gaff.
Yeah, no, I'm not denying that. But all I'm saying is like,
up the gaff.
And it ain't. Listen, it's not simple to. But I'll tell you what. One of the main ingredients to rectify it is to bloody work hard. That's it. It ain't rocket science. We're not sitting there trying to recreate the wheel. Graft, mate. Pull your sleeves up and graft, and be humble. Go out there and roll your sleeves up and run and work hard. And so Alex Ferguson used to always say to us, by the way, and I hate going back to what he said, but the guy's a G. But he used to say to us, I get so much pride when I walk into that my manager's office after a game, or their office if I'm away, and they say to me, "Oh, your team don't half work hard." So Alex, your team don't half. He said, "That's what I love to hear."
That's the foundation of everything.
That's it.
That you get players that work hard, and you're going to get players that can work hard and put shift in, and then you get the talent on top of that. But you don't get the talent without the hard work. We always knew when you play in a game, you can't win a game through ability alone, through sheer ability alone. You have to. It's the old saying. It's the old one that everyone says: earn the right to play. That means run harder, run faster, high intensity before you even think about the playing. And listen, you can say, oh yeah, but it's all blood and thunder. City do that. The best footballing team on the planet right now. City work harder than everyone. Liverpool do that.
Yeah.
Liverpool and City are the hardest working teams in terms of running against teams, pressing teams. But without that hard work, mate, Pep says, listen, mate, go in the stands. Don't care what you're earning, what you're doing. If you ain't working, I'm parking you up.
People been chatting about Jack Grealish this season, saying how he hasn't been that good. He was running his socks off.
He was good yesterday.
Phil Foden just putting people in wheelchairs. It was embarrassing. If you look at the stats,
we got bullied, man.
You got 5 shots. United had 5 shots. City 24. 2 on target. I know. Wait. We're gonna just let me read them. You can go in and you can say what you want to say. I've got to read it out. I'm sorry. Shots on target. City 10, showing how efficient they were as well. 30% possession overall for United. 70 for Man City. 326 passes. City had over double. Right. Your passes, and of course accuracy. I'm not really paying attention to that, and corners. Steve.
The one thing that City have got, and people will take this the wrong way, but I'm over it, right? They've got the ability to field 2 11s. Would you agree? They got 2 11s. So when Jack Grealish isn't having a good day, you get to go sit down, and think about what you've just done, right? They had a couple of injuries this weekend to 2 centre halves, £100 million worth of centre halves. All right, cool. Let's play Laporte and Stones instead. Pep does have the luxury of having 2 11s, and the luxury of having 2 11s, which he's keeping happy, give him that, is the fact that if you're not pulling trees up, you are definitely sitting.
But the only thing is, is that we've probably spent more than them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Their recruitment's been good. They've bought the right players. They've bought the right players, and all the players believe and trust in what he's doing. I don't sense that here.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not buying that. And on top of that, Liverpool. We talk about Liverpool. Liverpool haven't spent the most, right? Yes, they spent, but Klopp's got them boys working hard.
He's got it doing a different way. He's got his first team and he's got
pretty good.
It's a different way.
But what I'm talking about is hard work.
I've not got to the point I was trying to make yet.
Go on then.
The point I was trying to make is you can play shit for months at United, and you just get another few months to play shit.
No, that's true.
That's the difference, is what I'm saying, is that we've just got so few options. Say, right, okay, I'm not sure Bruno's having it at the minute. Who are you going to drop him for? Jesse Lingard?
I don't think it's the option, Steve, because even when you look at
even
when you look at United,
Matic comes in, gets to play 1 game a month because he's old now, right? He's probably been our man of the match last 2 games. He was never going to play at the weekend because he can't play 3 games in a week.
It's not depth, man. It's not depth, because at the start of the season, we're looking at United and you lot were saying they should be challenging.
It's
challenging.
Both.
And you wouldn't have been saying that if you didn't think that your squad was capable.
Joe, I think you'll find I said we might have gone forward and still come lower down in the table.
Yeah, he did. I said we should be challenging based on finish. You finish second in the league. Your next portal calls to finish first. Simple as that.
I actually thought Chelsea was going to.
I said Chelsea win the league.
Yeah, I thought Chelsea was going to take the step.
So wait.
Can we just highlight someone as well?
Yeah, I was going to say
Kevin De Bruyne.
Pretty good, innit?
Decent.
5 chances created, 4 shots
league.
on target, 2 goals, 1 assist. He was a joke, phenomenal. And sometimes you're thinking about a game that solidifies what you're doing. I think that was his game where you go.
Without being spectacular
anyway.
as well.
Good,
it was easy for him.
Did you see the moment when he barged off Maguire and then Foden barged off someone in midfield, and you're just thinking, right, we're getting bullied by playmakers. We're getting physically dominated by playmakers.
Can you imagine De Bruyne putting you on your ass? That you might have just left.
I think someone's done that to me. There would have been someone that's done that, but I mean, it's like
no, but those guys are doing it regularly. If you look at De Bruyne as well, I looked at that and I thought, sorry for the comparisons, not sorry. You look and you go, Bruno, Pogba. You got to show yourself up, Rio. You've played at the high level. When you're playing against these top players, this is your opportunity to go.
You've hit the nail on the head. Like there's nothing inside me that doubts that when those 3 players went to bed the night before, maybe less Kevin De Bruyne, but they'd have an element, I believe, that they'll all be going, I want to be the best midfielder on the pitch. Yeah. Pogba will be sitting there going, I want to do something in this game that everyone goes, right, Paul's better than Kevin De Bruyne, better than Bruno. Bruno the same, he'd have been. They've all got egos. Yeah. We all have egos when you play. You have to have one to be the top players. I don't care. I used to do it. I go on that pitch, look across that line, across the pitch, and look at the centre half over there. If people ain't coming out of there after this game thinking that I'm the best centre half on the pitch, I ain't done enough.
Problem. Simple.
And I'm sitting there and I'm looking, I'm thinking to myself, sorry, I'll be ashamed. Because the way KDB was bossing around, Mahrez,
20
we're
goals.
not even talking about the fact that when people talk about player of the year, he doesn't even come up in the conversation.
Salah and Mahrez, the only 2 players who've got 20 goals across all competitions this season. 2 African players.
Ridiculous.
Algeria and Egypt.
Both been away for
a month or so.
Have we really spoken about how City? This is where you do have a point. All right, I'm not gonna lie.
Depth,
consistency in that boy. It's like he almost goes unnoticed, but he's always performing here.
Yeah, but same as Sterling.
It's true.
Numbers these boys are putting up, but they're in a completely different stratosphere to Man United. They're miles away. I said last week you got to write off 2 years at least, and guys are going, how can you say that? And I'm seeing the comments and going, oh, what do you mean 2 years? Blah, it's Man United. You were saying, it's Man United. You can't. That game, the last 20 minutes shows you how way off we are, how far off we are, and you've got to be humble and you've got to say, listen, we've got to strip back now. and we've got to start building the foundations to get to a point of actually thinking we can compete.
Everyone just looks at the starting 11 that went out that weekend and played this weekend. But the football club is so much more than that. We had a sports psychologist when we was there. Was it Bill Bezitt when you was there?
No, he'd left when I was there.
All right, so Bill Bezitt left before Rio even got to United. Did they have a new guy?
He was with England right with me.
Did they bring a new guy in?
No.
Right, so we only brought in a new sports psychologist a month ago when Ralph came, from having one in the 90s.
Wow.
Right? Like Gary Neville said this line a few times, and I completely agree with him. Manchester United should be cutting edge, best in class. I felt like around about the year 2000, when we moved into Carrington, that felt like we were trying to do that sort of thing. I feel like under the Glazer ownership that's not happened. It feels like we're competing with Chelsea and Roman wants to win everything. You're competing with Sheikh Mansour, who wants to win everything. Liverpool are doing it different, but they want to win everything. You're going to have a new one in the mix now with Newcastle. They're going to, when you've got people saying, I want the best in the world, and you're going, how much to get fourth? You can't compete. You're going to be looking at finish top 10. Even Leicester, the money they've just spent on their new training ground, what they've done in their stadium, they're investing into their recruitment. It's not just the 11. The club is.
I think Man United are going to do that. Like Richard Arnold, I think that's one of his big things on his remit to do is to develop the training ground. That's going to 100% happen. Plans are already, I think, being drawn up for that. The other areas in terms of the recruitment and the different elements behind the scenes are going to be fine-tuned and be equipped to be best in class. But you have to wait and see how that plays out. But I think, listen, as important, if not more, you can do all that stuff, the shiny stuff behind the scenes. If the culture in the change rooms and that training ground ain't right, I don't care what you build behind the scenes, it ain't working.
Quickly, I saw some news from Fabrizio Romano, if we can put it on the screen.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, our guy. It was a tweet that says, Marcus Rashford is considering his future. He's concerned about his lack of game time. Source close to Man United forward tells me he's always been professional, but he wants clarity. His current Manchester United deal runs out in June 2023. Rio, I've been seeing this kind of stuff happen more. I don't know if it's because we're in the social media era, whatever it is, but even at our time, you know, like when we were competing, the Arsenals, Uniteds, even the Chelseas, I didn't see this come out the way. What's going on?
I don't know. Fabrizio's not normally wrong, by the way.
I think I know exactly who's told him that.
All right, let's not.
I'm leaving it at that.
But that's thrown me. I've got to be honest. If that's real, I can't believe it's real. I've got to be honest. But Fabrizio is normally on the button. But if it's real, okay, let's just take it as it's real.
Why is he randomly tweeting?
Let's just take it as it's real then, yeah? For this moment in for this matter of this discussion. If that's real, you can only talk like that when you're playing well. You can only talk like that when you're putting in performance and banging balls in the back of the net on a consistent basis. And Marcus ain't doing that right now. He hasn't played well for a while now. He don't look happy at the moment. He doesn't look happy at United. I've got to be honest. Tell me if I'm wrong. I watch Marcus and I feel like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Yesterday I saw it more than ever.
No. I've seen it for weeks. He doesn't look happy, man. I don't know what it is.
It's lacking a bit of spark.
The Marcus Rashford that came in, that's Man United. When you come blaze through and you come in and you think, oh my God, this is what another product of that youth team conveyor belt of player coming through with energy, with spark, with quality, with class, aggressive work ethic. Like, that's not the Marcus. Them things I've just mentioned just there aren't what I'm seeing with Marcus right now. And I think if he's really honest with himself, he would go, you know what, I ain't been on it. I ain't been that player that people fell in love with for the last few weeks or a couple of months. He hasn't, if he's brutally honest. So I don't know where that information's come from, but I hope it hasn't come from Marcus's camp, because I'd be embarrassed if that's come from my camp if I was a player and I wasn't scoring, which is my job, wasn't playing a part and being decisive really in the way that the team's played, hasn't put down the performances that we know you're capable of. So to have that, I'm looking at my future and I'm assessing my future, in the climate we're in now with Man United, the club's struggling, the club's at a low ebb, lacking confidence, being called by every single person on the planet about how bad they are, and you're looking at your future within that. you've got to be playing well, mate, before you talk like that. I'm sorry.
Steve.
There's only one excuse with this, and it's either, and I don't think it is either, by the way. I'm just saying, if there's any possible mitigation, it's this, but I don't think this is the case. The only way this has come out is Fabrizio's asked somebody, is he renewing that contract? And they've gone, oh, we're not sure yet. That's the only possible mitigation. Otherwise, the first thing he's got to do, what's he said? I'm not happy with playing time.
Yeah.
The only reason you're not playing is because you're not performing. And it's as simple as that. Marcus would play if he was performing.
Yeah, because when you look at
Alanga's
Alanga's taking his place, really, isn't it?
And all those things I said, the words that describe Marcus, that's what people are describing Elanga with at the moment. And I'm not saying for 1 minute that Elanga's got the quality and the class that Rashford's got. I think Marcus has got a higher ceiling than Elanga, no disrespect. But those words are what get you on that pitch and get people talking about you, salivating over you. Effort, spark, aggressiveness, running, character, personality, no fear. Like Marcus is playing within himself, like timid. Like the England squad's going to get announced soon. Do you think Marcus Rashford will be in England squad?
He shouldn't be. If he is, it's on reputation alone.
He's got a hard job getting it on form. He's got a hard job getting it. You look at all the other players in the positions. Stacker banged another goal at the
You've
weekend.
got people like Harvey Barnes that are doing well, mate.
Harvey Barnes scored at the weekend. You can't tell me that all those players' ceilings are higher than Rashford's.
It's
But
mad.
like, I don't know, man. I love the way he plays, man. He's a good kid, man.
Was it the other week when he's had a couple of chances and he's just not been able to execute, and he's had the opportunities there?
I don't mind that. I don't mind you missing chances. I'll take that all day long because you're in the right place. You just ain't finishing them. I know you got the quality. You'll get it right. Not a problem. It's the other stuff, man. When Marcus got on that pitch, it used to be like, it's electrifying. Used to light the place up. Forget what he done with the ball. I remember he played up front on his own against City. Remember? Away in the Etihad.
Yeah, retired them
And I was thinking,
And
this
against Chelsea.
guy's eating centre-halves, running through them, running them down, running on the shoulder. Like, I'm sitting at home purring, going, this is another one. But that same energy that I saw then, I can't see that right. He looks unhappy. That's what I don't like. He just doesn't look happy, man.
Speaking about another one, when Jesse Lingard came on, I saw the same, man. If I'm honest with you, he looked like his heart had left when he wasn't able to leave in January.
So I think, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but again, Jesse's situation is very like he don't want to be there.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
but you can see it.
Loves Man United, but the situation has come out at the back of the not getting a transfer, not getting the chance to go elsewhere and play games and start. Like, I believe he deserved an opportunity when he came back from West Ham. He should have had an opportunity to come in this team. This team weren't playing well enough to keep him out, I don't think.
No.
There was no one that you go, oh, they're much better than Jesse. What he done at West Ham, I think he warranted a chance of playing because the team weren't doing like pulling up crazy numbers and top of the league or anything like that. Put him in.
And he was doing well as
was
well.
flying
And
at
he was
West Ham.
coming in. No, even at United when he came back, the opportunities that he
but
had.
that's not right though. Either you're going to play someone like him or just let him go, man. But then, there's other stuff behind the scenes that I'm sure that's gone on we don't know about. So it's hard for us to kind of judge it.
So what I want to say here, Rio, before we move on, obviously, one thing that you said that I'm really happy about, you said that you give professional feedback because that's what you do. You're a pundit. That's what you do on BT. That's what we do here at 5. It's never personal or malicious, right?
They take it personal, some of them though.
They do, but I'm talking about how people act towards them. Do you think they're going to get a lot of negative social media backlash? And how do players handle that kind of social media backlash? Because that's not what we want. And I know that you've got initiatives and things that you're working on in order to make sure that it doesn't go too far.
Yeah, that's the problem with social media. People have the platform then to be very toxic and have a lot of hate talk that goes on there, which isn't. That's where I think I'll draw the line. That shouldn't be allowed. I don't think the social media platforms are doing enough to help the players in that respect. Because again, also, my kids shouldn't have to see that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's right. We've all got kids. I don't want them looking at that stuff. A player's played bad, hasn't played to his potential. Doesn't mean you've got the right to go on there and absolutely destroy him verbally. It's out of order. But we're coming from a very different standpoint. We're talking tactics. We're talking the way that people work on the football pitch and ways of improving than we see. Analysis, basically.
Just to let you guys know, Gazzetta della 5 will be out this week. It's going to be out on Thursday this week, so make sure you stay tuned. Put on your notifications, everything. We got bad videos coming out. We got the PSG video coming out this week.
Oh, guys, listen. Can I just say something? Down the lens, down the camera, right? I got to go to Paris, which in itself is unbelievable. Going Paris is like a wicked city. Went there. Went to the Paris Saint-Germain training ground, met the manager, had a bit of food with the manager.
Who? Drop names.
Pochettino, obviously. Talked football, talked tactics, talked a lot. Steve, you'd have loved it.
Yeah.
Watched training. Had a little bit of a talk with Verratti as well on the screen. Talked to him about
Absolute player.
Pick that name up.
It's what you do when you go to Paris.
Pick up in a minute.
And then we had a special guest just come in, just heard I was in the building, just dropped him.
What special guest?
Killian.
Oh.
Just came in, man. Heard 5 was in the house.
No, but I heard they were giving you Matt, because I got some contacts out there in France as well. Yeah, just a little bit.
What's his name from 4th?
Yeah, I'm invited by PSG this weekend. To the Bordeaux game.
Oh,
I'm going. Anyway, so yeah, I heard that when you were in town,
on my phone,
you know, I love getting at you saying, "Oh, Mr. A-lister." But I heard when you came in, there was loads of respect. They were like, "Oh, Mr. Ferdinand," and they kind of made a little bit of a big deal.
No, they looked after me, man. It's a nice place. They're good people, nice people there. Paris Saint-Germain, obviously the superstars they got there. Didn't get to run into Neymar. I spoke to him before on direct message, but he was obviously busy. But yeah,
Messi.
No, I didn't see him. So I actually got my boys some signed stuff though, some merch.
Yeah.
The Jordan merch, the Jordan tops, the Messi and the Mbappe tops.
More Jordan merch.
There's a couple of Jordans down there as well.
Yeah. But the content is sick. You guys, you need, when it comes out, make sure you watch it. Mbappe, Poch, Rio, Verratti, like the superstars were out, man. It's proper sick.
Messi training.
Yeah, I felt blessed.
Oh,
They done a rondo,
well.
yeah. They done a rondo. So there's like 6 on the outside, 2 in the middle trying to get the ball back. And we've got the clip actually. It's Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, who else? Verratti, Di Maria.
All on 5.
Who else? Can't remember. Like superstars, bruv. It was like they were keeping the ball for like 30, 40 passes. It was mental.
Mad. So yeah, make sure you check that out. Like I said, Gazzetta, that we got some shows coming up.
Icardi, another one.
Stay tuned.
Hakimi, another one.
All right. Liverpool beating West Ham 1-0.
They were lucky, man.
That was a bit of
Close
a
game.
grind, didn't it?
Yeah, they grind it out. But that's what Liverpool are doing. Liverpool, is it 12 get wins on the bounce now, something like that? It's unreal. Like I said this before they went on this run. I said, like, there's only 2 teams that are capable of doing this. I still thought that City would win the league. I'm still not 100% sure now. It's a big game, obviously, between the 2 teams coming up, which I think will be a huge decider in momentum and which is key.
Blink first time now.
Yeah. But I can see both of them going for the rest of the season, bar that one game, just win them all. They could do it quite easily.
And with Louise now in their team.
We've got Glanfield soon as well.
Yeah, we're going to get pumped.
Hey, listen, you lot's fixture list is looking mad.
Yeah.
More slappings incoming. Luis Diaz. Bro, what a signing,
Yeah,
man.
big
the guy
signing.
looks like a problem. Even that run that he did when he took the ball before the halfway line, won the foul at the edge of the West Ham box. Like, he is a player. I saw him in a Carling Cup final, seeing him on the weekend. What an addition. They've done it again. Recruitment.
Yeah, recruitment. The players come in and hit the ground running. But he ain't got many wrong, you know, with his signings.
Haven't.
You might say Minamino might be. But again, he scored
even
the other
again, when
day.
he comes on.
But I mean, like,
I know what you mean.
Minamino's probably one you could get more out of him.
Yeah.
Keita maybe.
Yeah.
But then you look around after that, like
You're right.
Tsimikas he comes in and plays well. Like you look at, it's like they just get it right.
Proper. I thought Matip was one that they were going to get wrong. Well, I thought he was wrong.
But he knew him, innit? He knew him.
Do you know what? There's another thing as well. When you've got a team that's
System,
on fire,
yeah.
like Cleverley and Anderson was doing it for us in midfield, weren't they? And then obviously they go elsewhere and it just crumbles for them. When you're supporting,
Cleverly's crumbled. Shout out Thomas Cleverly because I know he watches the show. You can't call him that.
His team got
it wasn't a midfielder winning Premier League.
No, but he's had a Premier League career, mate.
Yeah, he has had a Premier League career, but we was looking at him being
The next
Like,
Paul Scholes.
Yeah, we was looking at an evolution.
No,
of Paul
but
Scholes.
he's had a good career.
Played
But
good
Of course he
and
has.
everything.
Of course he has. But like, you wouldn't think he was a player that could capable of playing in a 2, winning a Premier League, except for United's system. Him and Anderson together was unreal.
all I
Until he
know,
broke his ankle. Like, I'd have said something. If we was doing YouTube videos then, mate, you'd been clipped me up for days. I would have said some outrageous shit about him.
all I know is that he didn't win on the weekend. That's all I know. That's all I know.
When you can have players because the system's so strong and because everyone believes in everything like that.
They can fit in easier.
Some of these players that are at Liverpool and City might move on
Yeah, and not be as good.
and just go, and you go, hang on, you were sick there.
You-
What
yeah,
happened there?
Yeah, but that's absolutely fine. You know what I mean? When you look at Trent,
Oh,
I saw some quote. Someone said by the time he finishes football, he could go down as the best right back.
no, he'll go down clocking assists.
Mad, innit?
He'll clock the game on assists, 100%. Again, he's playing in different position again. He's playing inside the pitch more now. I'm doing a bit on BT this week about it, but he's the way that fullback positions kind of the way that fullback's positions kind of evolved over the last few years. Pep inspired, I think.
It's mad how Pep's doing it, but he uses this as an extra midfielder to recycle the ball, and they're using Liverpool ones are using them as width and almost starting attacks. It's a totally different way of doing it, but they've become such an important position in the pitch now.
Yeah, they're the playmakers. Cancelo, Trent, Reece James, all
Imagine you had
playmakers.
Cancelo and Reece James or something in the same team. Two different ways.
Reece
of
James,
holding
plays
it.
well
you
as well.
see by the way,
Yeah.
Reece James comes back at the weekend,
well.
changed dimension of the team, like
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal. He got first. I think he's the first fullback to get 5 goals and 5 assists in the season in the
Quality
Premier League.
player.
In the Premier League,
Quality player. But sticking it with Trent against West Ham, 20 passes into the final third, which was the most, Rio.
playmaker.
10 passes into the box, the most. 5 chances created, the most. 2 interceptions, 1 goal line clearance. Good thing that he's doing his job on the other end as well.
The thing
And
is, he's
1
not doing
assist.
well. Defensively, his stats weren't great, but he's not a defender. He's not being on. He's not on the pitch as a defensive player. His average position's way into the opposition half. His average involvement's way into the opposition half. I don't think you can call him a fullback. I think you almost have to come up with a new name for a position.
But then it helps when you got the likes of Van Dijk next to him. New Premier League record for home games unbeaten for a single club.
He's done
Yeah,
well
Van
there.
Dijk.
He's done well there.
Do you know what as well? Since his injury, by the way, he started off a bit shaky, and
Yeah, I saw that,
understandably,
yeah.
and the way he's come back and just absolutely solidified the defence. You have to say again, that comes down to professionalism, work ethic on a training pitch, getting yourself right after a big injury like that. So he deserves all of the plaudits he's getting right now. Top defender, best defender about right now.
I think we've got to move it on.
So what?
Leicester,
Main part of the show, boys.
oh yeah, Leicester and Leeds.
Oh,
Newcastle
wait,
won again.
Do you-
Wow.
Do you know?
getting out,
How,
aren't they?
do you know
They're
how
doing it.
pathetic you boys sound at the moment?
Don't worry about it.
Haters.
Leicester and
Haters.
Leeds. Leeds slapped them up as well.
Yeah,
Come
sit
away
down,
with
Steve.
a defeat.
Arsenal beating Watford 3-2.
That's a massive
I'll tell you
game.
what, I'll tell you
in
what.
3 or 4 postcodes.
I'll tell you what, yeah. I'll tell you what. You're such a hater. I love it. I'll tell you what. Talk to me about Odegaard's first goal, Rio. No, don't pretend
really.
to text.
Don't
Don't pretend to text. You saw the build up. I'll talk you through it.
Are you getting ahead of Watford, or are they still a bigger club?
Bro, that's not even funny. Come on, man. What? Because you want to crack jokes, yeah? What are we doing at the end of the season? You're wearing an Arsenal top if we
No.
finish above you. Yeah, we had a bet.
I never said this.
We had a bet.
No, we didn't.
We did have a bet.
Pull up the clip.
Oh my, yeah, I will. I will.
Sure.
Yeah.
See, I was just texting because this
Yeah,
is boring me.
it's boring. Yeah.
Hey, say what's not boring.
Arsenal.
Forget Arsenal.
Yeah.
Ivan Toney scoring.
No,
a
no,
hat-trick.
no, no, no. We're
Oh,
not doing that,
massive.
boys. Boys, we're not doing that.
No, you know
What
what? With all
happened
due
today?
respect, Arsenal deserve their flowers. They have come good. Arteta
Roses.
had an absolute sticky period where he lost Joel.
Come on.
He lost a whole. He lost
Pull
a-
that clip up, by the
yeah,
way.
he
I
lost
am
a-
done.
He
Forget
lost
it.
a whole
He ain't the
heap of
one.
Arsenal
He's got to
fans.
go. He got his flag out.
He lost a whole heap of Arsenal fans. Robbie, all them guys. He was gone, right? They were gone. They were out the building. Tom, the man in the back there who makes this happen as well.
Gone.
They were all gone. Arteta out. Arsenal,
with Oba.
Kroenke, get out.
Wasn't it about 5 weeks ago?
Yeah, and it went long ago, and then all of a sudden, a couple of things have happened. There's been a shift. Aubameyang's gone. The manager's started to get things right in the change room and on the pitch now, and the players now are starting to, you can see, implement the ideas he's putting in.
And him going is that such
Yeah.
You've had a chat with him. I'm looking forward to this chat. What's your thoughts about? Could you see? To be honest, Arteta, you had a lot of good things to say after you left that conversation.
Yeah.
You spoke to me directly.
Very assertive, very direct, very clear in his ideas and the way he wanted to play. Even when it wasn't going well, you could see in his interviews, he's like, I've got my way I'm playing, and I've got an idea of what I want to do, and I'm going to stick to it. If I have to fall on that sword through my beliefs, I'll do it. And so he's very, 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 very kind of, this is who I am, this is what I want my team to look like, and I'm going to do it regardless. And so you have to respect that to a
Have you done a public apology video to him yet?
I think he deserves one.
Mikel, I'm a guy with no shame.
Say it again. Down the lens, like I said last time.
This one. Mikel, Arteta, I have to say, I was wrong. You started off shaky. The Brentford slapping at the beginning of the season, you had lost me by then, I'll be honest with you. But that's why you're the manager and I'm not. I'm a fan. We get things wrong. We say things sometimes. Sometimes we come on fan cams. But this is why you're leading the club. This is why Arsenal are fourth place, actually, with 3 games in hand over Man United. So, and I reckon because of that win, it's not an easy win, by the way. Because of that win, I can confidently say that in the next 10 games, we will be getting top 4. And in fact, Chelsea, mind the gap because we're coming for 3rd.
Oh my God. I think Wayne Rooney's going to run out of games.
Yeah.
Did you sick?
Did you see Ravel Morrison's 2 goals?
Did you see the? Hang on.
The
Did you see
first
the
one.
football for the
Too busy watching
goal?
Arsenal.
Mate, up, back and through
Too
all
busy
fucking
watching
day long.
Arsenal. Go on.
You know
No,
what,
big up Ravel Morrison because you know what? Derby
You
have
lot
done
could
well.
learn something from watching Derby play.
I do think that Derby are still too far away from Reading. I don't think they're going to
Yeah, I agree.
We just got a
But
hope for a
it's
total
amazing.
collapse at Reading.
Do you reckon?
They'd be in the playoffs if they didn't have the 21-point
I was
deduction.
going to
I
say,
think they'd be on
but I
55
reckon there was a
points.
different fire though within them this season though.
Maybe.
Because when the backs are against the wall.
Yeah, but you look at that team, it ain't a playoff worthy team. He has got them punching way above their
their weight.
ability.
Yeah,
I mean, Robert Morrison
they're
hasn't
playing.
played. He hasn't played 10 games for anyone, has he?
It's true.
And now he's playing week in, week out. That is
Quality
some
goal as
secret
well.
sauce that he's done there. That's some horse whisperer shit.
How has he done that, Rio, in regards to Ravel Morrison? Because obviously you
think
speak
it's
to
back to the
Ravel,
ball,
you got a good relationship.
He's just
with
given him a bit of responsibility. When I went there, he was saying that he helps with the younger players and that. He's matured himself, I think, maybe as well. Ravel, there's a difference in him. He knows that he ain't got loads of time left now. He's at the wrong other end of the spectrum in terms of
28,
career.
29, he can still
28,
play.
29. He's got probably about 3 or 4, 5, 6 maybe years in his game
Top
still.
level, yeah.
So Ravel Morrison in full flow, mate. There ain't many better to
beautiful, isn't
watch. It's like poetry in motion. Beautiful to watch. But again, his story's interesting. If you haven't seen it, it's on the 5 YouTube channel. Go and search it out.
It's funny because we're going to get him on again. Did we speak about he did his all-time 11? And me and him were going at it on DMs. Like, it's honestly,
Blew my mind
Rio.
that he's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, he's a massive Arsenal
But
fan.
Rio, you know what? Some of the selections I thought he was just disrespecting.
That's it.
Yeah, man. Like, I said to him, get yourself in the Paddock studio.
Who did he have on there?
Let me find out. Give me 2 seconds. Go on, carry on talking. I'll find it right now.
Yeah, I think they're going to run out of time, mate.
Yeah.
But I think it's not just that they're pulling results out. Like, when you've seen the goals, the flow of them goals, that
the way
was
they're playing.
proper football. Like.
Phenomenal.
I love watching a championship for that because you get both edges of it, don't you, where it's going in like that.
Newcastle, by the way. Sorry, Joe. Newcastle were out of it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Staying up now.
They're calm. They're calm.
He's done a great job, Eddie Howe, by the way.
They're calm. Ravel, this is Ravel's all-time 11 team, right? It's not bad.
Premier League.
No, all-time. Marcelo, left back. Puyol, Ramos, Alves, Busquets, DM, Ronaldinho and Iniesta ahead of Busquets. Henry, Messi and R9. Really good team. Versus my mate Tyrone, who had Carlos, Rio, Ramos, Alves, Zidane and Scholes sitting in front of the defense, Ronaldinho ahead of him, CR7, Messi, and R9.
All those teams getting smacked up by
Now,
Bolton.
now, I said
Kevin
to
Davis got
Ravel,
his dick out all over them.
I said to Ravel, I was just like, I hear that, but how have you kept out Zinedine Zidane? Like, what are you doing? For me, he's just like, nah, that's not the way my team
It's
play.
mad. I done a Champions League
Yeah.
team. It's coming out soon. Like a best ever Champions League team.
Yeah.
And Zidane didn't get in my team either.
Are you
Champions League only, by the way, but you
Do you
didn't
know
get my
what?
team.
Zidane is an international player. You need to go and actually watch him. He was, or I don't know, maybe
What he
speak
was doing at
to some Juventus fans.
He was a bad player, proper
Right?
player.
What he was doing, he asked Archer.
Listen, he was Ballon d'Or winner on the back of his French performances. Me and Will, how many times have we gone over this thing with it, right?
What did Ancelotti say about the way he made him he changed his mind in football? I was watching your show.
I'm not doubting how good he is. I think he's unreal, but he don't get in my. I played a 4-3-3.
Okay.
Yeah? And I just don't have him
Maldini,
in my team.
is Maldini in it?
Maldini's in
Thank you.
everyone's
We can
team
keep.
that I
We can
spoke
stay
to.
friends.
Yeah,
We can stay
yeah,
friends.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
I don't put him in.
You lot are insane.
Zidane doesn't get in my Champions League only. If you're talking World Cups and whatnot, it might be different. But in Champions League,
But this
he
ain't
don't get in my
Champions League,
team.
though.
No, but I'm just saying, what
Yours.
I've done, he doesn't get in my team.
I don't
I
know.
can't
We're
tell you
going to
my
have
team,
to
but you go and
review.
check this
You
out,
guys
I
got to
believe
let
it.
us
Do
know
think
what
there's
you
something
think in the
people who pick
comments.
Roberto Carlos over Maldini. Do you think it says something about the people who do that?
When you look at Marcelo, he's earned the respect enough to kind of be mentioned in there, right?
Again, people are looking at. It depends what if you're talking more of a modern one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably you seeing your more adventurous fullback.
Both sides of the game.
Really?
Yeah, but he's
Enough.
Maldini doesn't get enough. The thing is, right? People look at the likes of Ryan Giggs.
This bit.
Yeah, people look at the likes of Ryan Giggs as a winger and then compare his numbers to Salah. The game's different.
Yeah.
It's entirely different.
Ryan Giggs was getting dragged off the pitch if he wasn't tracking their fullback.
What about Cannavaro?
He got in someone's team that I spoke to.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get in mine.
Should we do? Let's part this and let's do our all-time.
Yeah, we'll do our own.
Because you've done a Champions League for BT. We'll do it all-time.
All right, cool.
Cool. You got
All
Chelsea versus Burnley. Obviously, slapped them up 4-0. We spoke about Reece James.
Let's just breeze through these
Yeah.
ones.
Kai Havertz, finding form. Pulisic,
Just go
playing
straight
well.
to the fan questions.
Yeah.
Let's go on there. Do you want me to read the first one? I got it here.
Go on. What we got?
I don't like this first question.
What's the first
Sean
one?
Acton says Torres on his day was absolutely unplayable. Sure, Fergie was after him at one point. Question for you, Rio: how good would he have been at United if he'd have went to us instead of Liverpool?
Hard to say. He was a great player. Always had to be ready for.
Can we dispel the myth that he had Vidic on toast as well? By the way,
Everyone always says that to me. I always say it to me, and then said he had me on toast as well.
let me pull the stats out because I hit someone with the stats on this.
Go on then, show me the stats to protect
Whilst we're
us.
doing that, and
He was a great player, by the way.
Who?
Torres.
Yeah, he was good
At Liverpool.
I didn't really like the
Atletico. The Chelsea one
Chelsea
was.
weren't convinced. During the end of his Liverpool career, he was rubbish as well. By the way,
But he was
Last
a
one.
lad. He scored some mad goals, mate.
was you scared? Like when I say scared,
No.
scared is a strong word.
Me and
but
him had good battles. You know what? He was quite like he looked after himself.
he's hench,
He
bro.
stamped on my
seen
foot.
him?
Yeah, he stamped on my foot. My foot had about 6 stitches in my foot at half
Is
time.
it?
Yeah, blood pouring out of my boot and everything.
Really?
But and the ball weren't even around us. He just stamped on my foot.
I love it. I love all that.
Top shit housery.
Ani Raduj G. Apologies if I
got a
bullied
stat.
the name. Why can't we try Lingard as a striker partner for Ronaldo till the end of the season?
No.
Cavani is having issues with injuries, or can we try someone like Charlie McNeil?
Charlie McNeil's too young. He's not ready yet. Elanga, he's doing his thing out wide. Let him keep progressing and enjoying the role that he understands best, which is out wide.
Mm-hmm.
He's already in a new environment, a new team, a new level. Don't want to confuse the picture for him too much.
Andrew, sorry, go on, Steve.
I've lost it now.
Andrew, a question for Rio. Who would you like to see as the new permanent manager for Manchester United?
Well, it looks like it's either going to be Ten Hag or Pochettino. Pochettino, I saw him the other day, man. He impressed me, I've got to say.
Really?
Really impressed me.
Really? He won you over?
Yeah, he really impressed me. Him and his team. I went out for something to eat with him and his team, and they were really super impressive.
I like that. Cobb, so with all of this, how can people like Howson still say Ollie was a good appointment? Howson still ranks Ollie as the best manager post Sir Alex Ferguson.
What?
Cobb.
What's the angle?
I don't know what the question is. I think it's
So with all this, how can people how can you say he's not? Ralph's took us lower than where Ollie had us. Like, it ended bad with Ollie, didn't it? I think the wheels really came off towards the back end of it. But Ollie was showing you that he was actually... Ollie finished second with this team. I don't know if anyone needs a calculator and a picture drawing, but that's above Liverpool and above Chelsea and above all the other teams except Manchester City.
But then when he made the team stronger, what was happening?
Well, something clearly upset the apple cart. And I think it's an absolute cop-out to just go, what changed? Ronaldo came, it must be Ronaldo. It's an absolute cop-out to just say Ronaldo.
It is. Poor journalism, that.
It's shit. And I'm, there might be a factor in there with him. But I don't think I don't think you can go, signing one of the greatest goal scorers of all time just completely bollocks up our season.
Got 14 goals, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's probably more to do with the fact that we tried to hold on to the ball more, and that exposed the weaknesses in Wan-Bissaka more because he was expected to be in possession more, exposed the weakness in Harry Maguire playing on the halfway line 1v1, exposed the weakness in Fred and McTominay from being progressive central midfielders, exposed the weakness in being able to break down other teams that are going to low block us, and I think it was more a case of that rather than we just signed Ronaldo. What an absolute shit cop-out that is.
Guys, can I just ask, can we just finish the show now? It's been a depressing one.
Yeah. We're getting there. We've got what, 2 more comments to go. Rio, how is it that United didn't plan better for Fergie departing? Yes, football goes in cycles, but they knew the day would come. And last 10 years shows how badly that transition was managed.
Well, the year Fergie left, we won a league.
No, they're talking about afterwards.
No, but that's what he's saying. He said they didn't plan better for Fergie departing. He left him with a championship winning team.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. So basically you're saying there's no better way that he could have left, basically.
No, but everyone can nitpick and go, you could have had a better player here, or you could have had maybe a younger player there, or whatever. But
you were champions.
The culture was still of winning.
Mm-hmm. Last question, AG42. Who's the most underrated Prem player, past rather than present?
I think most undervalued by people probably outside the game will be Michael Carrick.
Yes.
I'm going to take a different answer to that in terms of goals. I think Andy Cole. I think when you talk about top strikers,
I'd say that as well.
I think people go on.
And when you ask Cole and you speak about the goals, because I like to press his buttons because I know what it means to him, and you go, how many goals you get? You tell you the number, whether it's like 200 and something, 300 goals, whatever it is. No penalties.
Someone did a deep dive, and he was goals per game ratio was very, very close to Shearer's without the penalties.
That's crazy, you know.
That's what you always say to us. Scored so amount of goals, no penalties.
Bad man.
We should end on that.
So the Vidic myth, by the way, Torres scored 3 against us in 15 games. No further questions.
It's so funny how quickly Rio and Steve want to end this episode. Let's wrap it up.
No further questions, thank you.
Let's wrap it up. No further questions.
Anyway, I've got to go, yeah?
I want to let you go. Let us know where you think Man United are going to finish this season.
We're going to finish in May. That's it. We're going to finish in May. So we'll call it that there, right? Prove me wrong.
Massive shout out to Arsenal for finishing top 4. Joel Beya, Stephen Howson, Rio Ferdinand will be back on Vibe with 5 next week. Peace.